In normal times, up to a third of students experience mental health difficulties during their time at university. Since the start of the pandemic, students have experienced a number of additional challenges that are likely to have had a negative impact on their well-being. As the new academic year begins, students have told us they're concerned about a range of issues, from advancing to the next level of study, to finances, to socialising and making friends.
For many students, moving to a new place can be exciting, rewarding and liberating. It's a chance to meet new people, try new things, gain some independence and confidence in yourself. However, it's completely normal for moving to feel stressful. You're moving away from the safety and security of what's familiar to you, and there's lots of change and uncertainty to deal with as well. It can take time to settle into your new surroundings, build a routine, get your head around your studies and meet new people to hang around with. Even simple things like your exercise routine and sleep patterns can change, and these things are really important to having good well-being. Non-traditional students from minority backgrounds or those with existing mental health conditions might find it takes longer to figure out what university life means for them. It's completely normal to have a mix of emotions during big transition periods like this one, both positive, negative and neutral. The uncertainty that comes with change can make us feel anxious. If we feel we're not settling in or making friends, this might lead us to feeling low or feelings of isolation, and it can impact on our self-esteem. If these feelings become concerning to you or you're having difficulty managing them, it's good to know that support is available for you.
It's important to be aware of your well-being so you can take action when it starts to slip. It's also important to be aware of the well-being of those around you. As a friend, you might be the first person to notice that someone has become withdrawn or their behaviour has changed, and being there for them and encouraging them to access support can make a real difference.
Recognising potential mental health problems can be the first step in getting yourself or others the support that they need. One of the main signs in people with mental health problems is a change in behaviour. So they might be more irritable or withdraw from situations or be louder than usual. They might feel run down and the sleep might be affected. So if you spot any of these signs in yourself or others that are out of the ordinary or becoming difficult to manage, it's important that you reach out for help and encourage others to do so too.
We all have mental health, and our mental well-being can fluctuate from day to day. But there's lots of things that we can all do to look after our mental well-being. There's a strong link between physical and mental health, so things like getting enough sleep, eating well, getting regular exercise and sunlight, and having a balanced routine can really help our mental health. Whether you have 5 minutes or an hour, try carving in that time to look after your mental well-being. If you're experiencing mental health issues, then it's really important to keep an eye on how you're doing and prioritise your mental well-being. Doing something like tracking your symptoms can be really useful in seeing how your mood and behaviours might be changing. If you've experienced these issues in the past, have you done things that were useful then, and could you try them now? Remember, there's lots of support out there, whether that's through student services, the NHS, or even just reaching out to a friend. And finally, try not to forget about your physical health.
If you're experiencing issues with your mental health at university, remember that you're not alone and that there are people out there to help you. The university is filled with professionals like counselling services, disability advisors, mental health advisors, as well as many having access to a GP. So please don't struggle on alone, but talk to someone.
There are many support services available for students. We would always recommend that you look into the university support services alongside speaking with your GP about the different support options. Most universities can offer a referral into counselling, specialist referrals, support you in connecting with a GP if that's something that you're struggling with, and also offer one-to-one ongoing appointments to look at managing your mental health, anxiety management, mood management strategies, and to minimise the impact of mental health on study if you are experiencing some difficulties.
But if you're not sure where to start, talk to a personal tutor, someone in the academic department, maybe that nice person who works at the front desk. You can also talk to someone in the accommodation buildings, or if you're really not sure, just go to a help desk and ask them, where do I get help if I'm worried about my health? They'll all be able to signpost you to the first place to start, even if they then forward you on to someone else. As a GP, I saw students every day who had struggled to know how to come and find us and who to talk to. It can be really hard to reach out and talk to someone, especially if it's the first time you've ever struggled with this problem. But please be reassured, We are there because we want to help you. We work in universities because we like students. We want to help.
It is really difficult to ask for help sometimes. Maybe you could consider speaking with a member of staff that you feel most comfortable with, that could direct you to the support services, or maybe speak with a friend who might be able to support you in getting the help that you need. If you're struggling to talk about how you're feeling, maybe take some notes, write down how you're feeling, or send an email over to highlight the difficulties that you're experiencing, and this would be explored further with you in an appointment.
If a friend talks to you about their mental health or a problem that they know they have, it's really important to be kind, compassionate, listen to what they're going through. Don't try to fix it for them, but offer to be alongside and help them to find the help they might need. Maybe they want someone to go with them to an appointment or to help them phone and book an appointment. Just be alongside them and be kind.
Students and young people that belong to minority or marginalised backgrounds and communities are more at risk to experience or develop mental health difficulties. There's a number of risk factors that have been well researched and well identified to understand the different risks different student communities face, but there are also protective factors for those communities too. We know that feelings of not feeling included or belonging in your community, or having a negative experience when accessing or seeking support, or experiencing bullying, harassment, discrimination are all risk factors to having mental health difficulties, and minoritised and marginalised communities can be at higher risk for this, which is why there is such a discrepancy when it comes to looking at the different mental health of the student communities. There is support that is specifically available that's targeted to particular communities. Often in student unions you will have networks, liberation networks and communities of students of similar backgrounds and experiences as yourself, so you can meet like-minded people and have a peer support network. Obviously, through your student union, there'll be an advice service, and through your university, there'll be a range of services, including counselling, that will be available to all students to access. But if you feel like they're not accessible to you or they're not appropriate, make sure you look for third sector organisations, potentially national organisations that cater specifically to your community, and hopefully they'll be the right place to get the support you need. My personal advice, coming from my own experiences, is that something I found really useful when going through university was getting really involved in the LGBTQ Liberation Network through my students' union. I found it a really invaluable opportunity, experience, community and space to talk about how I found being gay at university and having others go through similar experiences. We were able to support each other, and when anyone was struggling, being able to make sure we signposted them to places that we found were helpful. We were able to campaign for change in our university to seek the changes that we thought were necessary to have a positive experience. So my advice would be to find others like yourself.
If you're starting university this year and you're already managing a mental health condition like anxiety or depression, then it's really important to remember a couple of things. Don't stop any treatment suddenly. Make sure that you're registered with a local GP. Carry on with any therapy that you need to be doing. And just ensure that you ease yourself into things and pace yourself a bit as well. Get your sleep, make sure that you're eating healthily, staying hydrated and rest, because it's going to be a big change and you need to look after yourself.
If you feel that you may need ongoing support whilst at university, we would always recommend reaching out early to the university to let them know that this might be the case. It's also helpful to be proactive in registering with a local GP. And also looking at what existing support you have in place at the moment, and is this still accessible whilst at university, or could this be transferred more local for you? If you do feel like your condition may have an impact on study, you could also consider registering with the disability services to explore reasonable adjustments in terms of study.
You may have been receiving support or treatment before you moved to university, so it's important to remember that universities are filled with people who are there to want to help you. You have the counselling services and disability teams, mental health advisors, and often GPs. So it's really important to make sure that you connect with them, make sure they know about you and what you need, and talk to them if things are getting tricky.
If you or somebody that you know is experiencing a mental health emergency, it's really important that you access immediate support. So we would always recommend calling your local crisis team or 999 service if you are at immediate risk or somebody else is unsafe. If you are supporting somebody, it may be helpful to offer a listening ear. You shouldn't be expected to have all of the answers, but listening to their problems and letting them know that you can help them to get support can often be a really positive step.
If things get too much for you and you feel overwhelmed or that you're having a mental health crisis, it's really important not to ignore that and to talk to someone there and then that day. So contact the counselling service or the GP practice, or just walk and speak to someone that you trust nearby and tell them you need help.
Student Minds is a UK student mental health charity. We empower students and members of the university community to look after their own mental health, support others, and create change.
At Student Minds, we work to empower students and other members of the university community in a number of ways. We have programmes like the University Mental Health Charter and Student Minds SUs to support universities and students' unions, as well as training courses for university staff and accommodation providers. We also believe in the power of the student voice and share student and recent graduate stories on the Student Minds blog, a space for students to go to be heard and know that they are not alone with whatever they may be going through. Student Space is a platform for students to use as and when they need it. We offer direct support through text, phone, web chat and email, as well as information and advice to help you through the challenges of being a student during the pandemic.
Please remember, if you are struggling, it's okay to ask for support. There are a range of services and resources available through Student Minds, your university and the NHS.